Hey Homo sapiens and Marbites, welcome back to the channel. I am Rogue Marby Scott and welcome any new subscribers and new watchers. This is my fire inspired look just because I'm doing spring looks and you're probably thinking, why is he even thinking about fire in spring? It's not summer, it's not winter. Well, in spring, what I like to do is, when Ostara comes, Easter, I like to light a fire in my garden and, you know, I like to pray and stuff to the gods and whatnot. And, yeah, so I'm inspired by fire because fire, water, earth, air. And, yeah, and I'm also recreating a look that I did on a video before, which I recreated from another video, but I never actually did a tutorial. So I'm doing a tutorial for this look today, and also I'm going to jazz it up a little bit. So just wait until the end and we'll see how I jazz this look up. So, concentrating on my eyes primarily in this video, I'm going to go in with a concealer and I'm using that as my base and my blocking outing and my primer for my eyeshadows. So I'm just creating it with, well, I'm placing it on with a brush because I want this to be very precise where it's placed. So I'm not using my fingers today, but I will be using my fingers to blend that concealer out around the edges, but I want it to be very opaque in the middle. So I'm going to continue doing that, and once I've finished and I've placed it on both eyes, I'm going to now blend out those edges using the side of my index finger, just because I feel like if you use the middle of your index finger, it can sometimes blend a bit too much. So the side, you have so much more control when you're doing that. Going in with my main colour and my transition colour, I'm going to sweep that across my crease and I'm going to blend that all the way through, making sure that the colour payoff is as opaque as I need it to be. I'm not going to drag that down onto my lids because my lids are going to be a completely different colour, and I'm just blending that out with a fluffy brush. I'm using a fluffy brush because I feel like this brush in particularly blends where I need it to blend exactly. And now I'm going in with a lighter shade of a red. It kind of pays off as pink, but it really isn't pink in person. So sorry about that. So as you can see, I've put that on and I'm putting that beneath my first colour. Now I'm just going back in with the first colour and I'm blending those two together. There's a lot of blending and there's a lot of packing of the eyeshadow, but it doesn't look cakey if you're wondering. Now going in with an orange on top of my first colour, and I'm going to kind of use that as a highlight, as a rim of the red, just because this is a fire look and I kind of want it to kind of look burny but still pretty at the same time. My intentions for this look is actually if you're going out or for a photo shoot. Now going in with that red, and I'm going to blend that red and orange together. I'm not using too much on the brush because I don't want it to cake and, you know, blister off. Now I'm just blending my inner corners with a dry brush, clean brush, sorry. Now I'm just going to place some concealer in the middle of my eyelids very roughly. I don't want it to be circle, I want it to be rough because I want this part to look like a flame, but not too much like a flame. I want it to also look pretty and, you know, whatever, and roundish. So I'm just placing it kind of roughly there before I go on to using my gold eyeshadow that I'm going to place on top, which you can see here now, and I'm going to dab and swipe with a kind of damp brush, and I'm just going to press it on. I'm not blending or anything, I'm just pressing that on, packing it on as much as I can just to get that, you know, very shiny payoff off. So going in with that same red that I used before, and I'm just blending out those edges of the gold that I've already placed. And if you haven't guessed already, this is a variation of the look that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It's not going to be exactly the same. Now I'm using that same red, the first red that I used to do underneath my lash line, and I'm going to go in with the second red as well, just to pop it a little bit as well. So I'm stopping halfway at popped my iris just because I'm going to place yellow and highlighter there. And now I'm going to go in with the lighter shade that is my second shade of red that I use, just to blend and, you know, bring that into the tops of my eyes and bringing the look more together. I'm just going to blend that out with a clean brush now because it was a bit too opaque for me. So I'm just blending it out just to make it look a little bit more gradual. Now I'm going in with a yellow eyeshadow. You can use any yellow, however bright you want, but I'm using this as a placement for me before I go in with my highlighter because the yellow isn't shiny that I'm using from the BH Cosmetics. Going in with the highlighter now, and I'm using a cotton bud because there is no brush that I could find that was small enough to do what I needed. So I'm using a cotton bud to do that, and I actually kind of use this on my clients as well, so it works well. The cotton bud will always, you know, pick up as much product as you attempt to bring. So I'm just bringing that in, and I'm going to blend that with the cotton bud with the other side, of course not with the same side. And that is pretty much what I'm doing here right now. Decided to go in with a darker eyeshadow just to pop that middle bit in a little bit more. You can't see it, but you do see it in person. Now it's time for my eyelashes. I'm going to, you know, put some mascara on from a tester that I got from MAC. I'm actually going to buy this now because I love the brush and I love the formula. Got some on my eyelid, but don't worry about that. Just try not to do that because you don't want to have to scrape it off afterwards. But if you do, use a cotton bud. Don't use anything wet, okay? Now it's time to get a little bit more fiery and change this look up a little bit more. So we're going in with a gold glitter eyeliner, and I'm going to place that on the bottom lash line. And I'm just going to place a few layers of that before I continue on. Now forgive the rigidness of the eyeliner that I'm going to place on, the red eyeliner that I'm going to place, just because I'm wearing like very long lashes and I couldn't see my lash line, so I was trying my best to do as much as possible. But I bring out that eyeliner and I create a flick, a cat's eye, what have you, and then I also place some dots on. Going in with a lip palette, and now I'm going to do my lips. I'm going to use a red lip base first before I start blending in the yellow. So as you can see, I'm just doing my lips as normal, using a lip brush. I actually really like using lip brushes rather than using it out of the packet, so yeah, that's just my preference. Now going in with a yellow because obviously we want to make orange, and I chose not to use orange because it just wouldn't have given that same effect. So placing that on, I'm going to pucker up just to blend it in, and then I'm going to go in with some gold eyeshadow just to match it to my eyes because I just want everything to look very cohesive. So now we're at that time of the video where we're going to do some extra highlighting, because I do have some highlighter on, but I want more highlighter. I want everything to look shiny, bright, burning, bright like a, I don't know, a star of fire. So we're just making sure everything is more highlighted than it was before. Okay?
So guys, that's how I got the looks, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe here. Yeah, because I clearly can't remember which side it's on. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Peace.